Clay. It's tennis's messiest surface, in more ways than one. I wanted to find out how it's made, from factory to court, and along the way, I got a little messy myself.
It's everywhere. It's gonna be in my hair for days, I'm sure. So funny, just out here in this, let's say, unsuspecting factory that is literally responsible for the most important product made at all of Roland-Garros. And now I have it in my eyes. Is it really all over my face? It's like they're touching my face too.
I guess my guide liked my enthusiasm, but let me tell you, it took quite a journey to get here.
You will be Mr. Clay in America.
I like it too much. It's a dangerous problem.
I didn't want just any clay manufacturer. Only the best would do. The guys who supply Roland-Garros. Some research took me to Supersol, and with a lot of digging, I found a phone number for them online. Easy, right?
Well, that was interesting. I have no idea who that was. I mean, or where that phone number was connected to Supersol, which was the company that we found.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently they don't exist anymore. But this mysterious man who I never got his name.
Yeah, he didn't say anything.
Yeah, he didn't say anything. Did refer us to another company called Terbasol.
I'd never heard of Terbasol at this point, but it was as good a lead as any. Sophie at Terbasol gave me the director's contact, a guy named Nicolas Paulet. I shot him an email, stressed as hell, because I really needed him to say yes if this video had any hope of getting made. Luckily, I didn't have to wait long. Just 10 minutes later, I was on the phone with Nicolas himself. For reference, the factory's in Nîmes, near Brussels. That's nearly a 4-hour drive away from Paris, and it's not like I have a car here. But I said I'd go anywhere for this story, and Nicolas was basically making me put my money where my mouth was. At least there's a train.
Looks like we're going to Belgium.
It is 5:30 in the morning, and we're going to the clay factory.
Oh man, who's ready to go to Brussels?
2 hours later, we were in Brussels.
8 a.m. on a Wednesday. The boys go to Brussels.
Finally, Nicolas picked us up.
And after all that, we're here in Nîmes, Belgium to see how these two types of brick become this. The exact red clay you see on Philippe Chatrier. Honestly, after everything that we've been through on this trip, it's a bit surreal standing here next to the exact clay that made the courts at Roland-Garros.
First off, I just couldn't resist getting my hands dirty.
I can feel it in my hand that it is clay, very much so. This is not a brick, but at the same time, I can still feel the little particles of it. It's not exactly super fine. It's not what would go on your tennis court yet. Fly free. Will stay in your hands though. So this one right here, the difference is that this is a lot finer. When I'm running it through my fingers like this, I can't exactly feel any smaller particles. It doesn't feel like there's any stones or pieces of brick. This is literally just red dust right here, and this is what's going on that top layer of the tennis court. And you can see this is not coming off my hand anytime soon. This is your tennis court right here. Yeah, my hand, I'm gonna be orange by the end of this. I'm gonna look like Snooki and Donald Trump put together.
After I was done running around like a kid in a candy store, it was time for a little bit of background. Nicolas has been in this business for 20 years, and he's a real expert.
Yeah, the clay courts started in France, but with Englishmen. They were playing in the south of France, next to Cannes, and they were playing on grass. But grass in the south of France is not a good idea. So they removed the grass, and they crushed those potteries and those pots, and they use it to cover the court.
And the rest, as they say, is history. That was in 1880, nearly 150 years ago now. And the process has come a long way since.
This is so funny, just out here in this, I don't want to say random, but let's say unsuspecting factory that is literally responsible for the most important product made at all of Roland-Garros. And now I have it in my eyes. I'm being a little bit of a baby. That's how I look right now, so I'm covered.
150 years ago, it was crushed up pottery. Now it's brick. But not just any kind of brick. Terbasol buys bricks that are misshapen or the wrong size directly from the brick factories.
Every tournament has its color. So you have the orange Roland-Garros. In Monaco, they will have a little bit more reddish color.
For Roland-Garros, they use a combination of two types of brick.
This is one of the Roland-Garros bricks. That's the old-fashioned brick, and you can see that it's irregular. See the way it's cooked, and it will remain a bit greasy, you know, so it's not as dry as a more modern brick. And just as an example, this is the more industrial brick, which will be a bit drier.
So it's interesting. I don't know if this is coming across on camera, but this one feels a lot more brittle than this one. Like if I drop this, it would break. This one would probably break your foot. So when the artisanal brick meets the industrial brick and they come together, that is the basis of what becomes the Roland-Garros clay. That sounded like a Birds and the Bees story. It's like the papa brick and the mama brick.
So we've got our materials, now what?
We take the full bricks that you saw, those ones, we put them here. It goes into a first stage here in this preliminary crusher, and then it goes into this big crusher here, so that's the pre-crusher. The pre-crushed bricks are going into the final crusher, which is this one.
And so from here, the full bricks are now becoming a piece that's what size?
The first crusher, it will be a piece of about 4 to 5 centimeters. The first crusher here. Then, this 4 to 5 centimeters will be fed into this crusher, and from here, it will go onto the screening.
With each stage of the process, the brick gets refined into smaller and smaller pieces. They end up using close to 100% of all the raw material, keeping waste to a minimum.
The pieces that are really fine are fed through to the next stage of processing, and the pieces that are too coarse are fed back through the machine to be recrushed until they are able to pass through the system successfully.
Nicolas then took me up for a closer look.
Should I put this one back into the system?
Yes, put it back there, Noah, yes.
100% of
That's your great contribution to Roland-Garros. Please go.
These vibrating screens sort the pieces of brick by their granulometry, how coarse or how fine they are.
Here we can see another piece of this filtration process where you have the pieces of brick that are a bit too coarse. They're fed through this conveyor right here. You can see the accumulation of the bigger bricks right there, and compare that with what's going down to here. You can see that everything's getting a little bit more fine as it's crushed up again. And it's pretty crazy to see that after all this series of filtering and compressing and filtering and compressing, the final product that's going on the top layer of the tennis court, which is right here, deposited in a neat pile at the bottom. Look at it when it's coming out of my hand. You see it's just like the dust is very, very fine. It feels like I'm touching like sand on the beach. So how much of this final clay is produced on a day-to-day basis, going just through this whole process here?
That's a very good question. If you are producing a regular product, it's about 40, 50 tons. But if you're producing the Roland-Garros grade, it's like 20 tons a day. So it takes much, much longer to produce the Roland-Garros product.
Because it has to be so much finer, correct?
It has to be much finer. Look at the camera, you see? You're a real expert. You have clay all over your face.
I do?
That's one fantastic.
For Roland-Garros, Terbisol starts preparing as early as November each year. This gives them more than enough time to start again if the clay isn't up to standard. They produce 70 tons for each tournament, carried on 3 trucks to surface 19 courts.
If the clay is too coarse, sliding will be too much. If the clay is too fine, the sliding will not be enough. See? If the clay is too fine, then the wind will take it away. So it's really a balance of all these parameters.
For obvious reasons, it's vital to have the right surface consistency throughout the tournament. Roland-Garros isn't the only place with specific requirements for its clay.
This is a special grade made for the Belgian market. It has more than clay in it in order to be more resistant to water and so forth.
Every day there's trucks coming in here and taking this clay around the world.
Yes, absolutely.
And this isn't even considering Roland-Garros. This is just clubs all around France.
Yes,
and,
it's
and
all
around
over
the world.
France, Belgium, Germany. We also export to overseas countries like China and so forth. So.
It turns out that clay is actually a huge international trade, which led me to maybe a risky question.
Tell me a little bit about just the differences, let's say, between French clay, Spanish clay, and Italian clay.
There's one real clay and there are other clays.
Which is the real one?
Let you guess. As I told you before, it will be slightly different colors, slightly different consistency, granulometry.
The French one is the real one.
I guess so, yeah. A few years ago, Rafael Nadal complained about the fact that the ball was going everywhere, and he was right. There was too much clay, little bumps, and we had to be corrected very, very quickly.
Because it's not just about what you put on the surface, but how you construct the whole court.
So can you take us through a little bit just the process of how the clay court is actually made?
It's all about water content in clay court. Too dry, you can't really play. It's too hard. Too wet, you cannot play either.
A clay court is actually about 60 centimeters deep. On the very bottom is a layer of larger stones. On top of that, 30 centimeters of smaller stones, like gravel. Then it's a layer called clinker, which is made up of coal residue. That's 7 to 8 centimeters right there.
On top of this, you have what really makes the play on clay, and that's a layer of 6 to 10 centimeters of sand.
So it's probably about this much, right?
Yeah, it's a very specific sand coming from the north of Paris, and it will give the smoothness of the court, the rebound.
I mean, it's amazing. It's even, I can feel it here.
Yeah, exactly,
Slide, yeah.
exactly.
It makes me want to play tennis. Yeah.
Terbasol has been supplying Roland-Garros for the last 2 years, and they hope to keep doing it for many more.
What were you feeling when you signed that contract?
I was very happy because when you're in this business, to supply Roland-Garros is of course the best of the best.
It's
And
top, yeah.
it forces you to be better than best.
It's a real labor of love for these guys.
20 years ago, we were supplying the brick factories with many different products. And then they talked to us about their problem of recycling the bricks and the fact that could be that it would be used in other industries, and what could we do with that? And then came the idea to use it for tennis courts.
And they're efficient about it too. The factory is battery powered, so they can buy electricity when it's cheaper at night and store it for use during the day. They now produce over 10,000 tons of clay a year to supply over 3,000 courts all over the world. It's seriously impressive, and I know I'd love to see more of this amazing surface in the US.
So I'm very pleased that I was able to share with you a little bit of that story, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you will like to play on clay more often.
I don't think I can ever look at a clay tennis court the same after this visit. Okay. And Nicolas, thank you so much for having us.
Thank you, Noah. It was very nice to have you here.
I never imagined that when we set out to tell this story in France that we would end up in Lille, Belgium, at a factory that I didn't even know existed before this trip began.
But yet here we are, watching these very bricks become the iconic clay that we see on Philippe Chatrier and beyond.
A massive thanks to Alex and Nicolas from Terbasol for welcoming us to the factory here in Niels. And guys, I'm looking to do a lot more of these stories moving forward, so if you enjoyed it, let me know in the comments. And until next time, keep going for the lines. Bam, let's get out of here.